Hello, Alex Vance, I'm your guide Q, and god, this was supposed to be just like a regular dive back into obsessive love, and it starts off that way, but it sort of develops into me just straight up going to war with this community, so brace yourselves. Alright, this is wild. Let me know if anybody's done anything close to this. This person says, my darling accidentally hung up our Discord call today while I was at the store. 1 month and 2 days long. So this person's claiming to have been on the phone with their partner for a month and 2 days. I'm guessing other stuff happened. They probably just had it running in the background while they weren't talking, doing other activities or whatever. But like, I can almost see this happening during like the very honeymoon period at the beginning of a relationship, but I still don't understand how anybody could fucking handle this. Like, do these people not ever need alone time? Like, I do not get it. If you relate to this at all, please let me know. If it sounds like a steampunk robot is taking a piss in the background of this video, I just have steam heat, and for some reason the radiator next to my microphone is just going insanely hard right now, and I have to keep my house warm so I can't turn it off. This is a pretty unwell post, but the responses from the community and the advice that they give just take it from 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds. This person says, I need serious fucking help. I'm currently at uni, home to the woman of my dreams. However, another man, much luckier than myself, managed to weasel himself into winning her heart before I did. That makes me feel like absolute shit due to the way it was all timed. What can I do to win her over once and for all? I'm at a loss. Lover's Lane comes in and suggests maybe make a catfish account on some social media and try to tempt the dude into cheating on her. It'll probably hurt her, but if it works, at least you get another chance. OP responds, how do you suggest I do that? I have a feeling he will trace it back to me, and it's just not worth it if I become a social pariah. At least somebody reasonably comes in and says, do not do this. Your best course of action is telling her you're interested and letting her decide what she wants to do. Which might be useless because she's in a relationship anyway, but at least it's much more direct. Like, at least you're just doing it and not going through some fucked up back channel strategy to get her out of this relationship. But even though another member of the community said that first idea was bad, Lover's Lane jumps back in and says if you can afford a second phone, I'd suggest that. Or use a library computer somewhere out of town. Make sure the social media accounts look real enough, but don't post about anything you're actually interested in. Make sure the girl you're playing the part of's name isn't at all similar to yours or anyone you know. Just pick a random name off the top of your head. And if you need face pics, I suggest using that this person does not exist website so it can't be traced back to you. Or if you have an off-the-grid female friend who's willing to help, maybe use her pics, with her permission of course. OP responds, thank you for your input, I'll definitely give it a try, and Lover's Lane says, let me know how it goes, best of luck. And I'm just fucking losing my mind, because it seems like OP is actually trying to go to this person does not exist website, which just has a bunch of like AI generated pictures of people that look pretty realistic for the most part, and he's saying, I have the hang of it now, it is a godsend. So he's legitimately intending to catfish his crush's current boyfriend to try and see if he will cheat to break up the relationship. Like, oh my god, dude. This is just some deeply fucking losery shit. Like, I don't want to be mean, but it's just everything about this, like, especially the Reddit wholesome 100 level of, like, support and kindness that's going on while you're planning, like, this fucked up, stupid shit. I guarantee you, if you're the sort of person that has to do this to try and get your crush, you were never going to get her in the first place, and you will never get her. This person says, I wish there were more people like me. I'm on the other side of the obsessive love coin. I wish someone would obsess over me. I always have and always will. Maybe it was a lack of attention my whole life. Maybe I was just born this way. I read posts here to see what it's like to be obsessive over someone, and it's led me to just feel sad for many. You all have such strong emotions that push others away because they think it's weird or bad. But me, I think it's amazing and so nice to care so much. I just wish there were more people who liked to be obsessed over for you all, and then you all wouldn't have to worry that most people would get upset over how you feel. I hope you can all find someone or make something work with whom you care for. So generally a pretty positive post, but I fucking hate it. I dislike this deeply. I think that this is absolutely fucking idiotic. I don't think that this person has ever been obsessed over to the extent that people on this subreddit participate in. I think that this is like so much of obsessive love in my mind. It's a theory thing. All of these people are just fucking role-playing in their minds. Maybe some of them are doing real shit, but I almost guarantee that if this person actually experienced someone obsessing over them for 6 months, a year, 2 years, it would eventually get old and become deeply uncomfortable. They'd probably want some alone time. They'd probably want some fucking space. Like, I can't pretend to know that, but I just guess that most people actually cannot handle being completely obsessed over and being the center of somebody's world. But that is just my perspective. If you have experienced being completely obsessed over for multiple years and you genuinely enjoyed that experience, please let me know in the comments. Alright, so this is interesting to me. This person says, "Tubba this sub isn't even about obsession anymore. I used to be in this sub very frequently around 2020 to 2021. It was smaller and people seemed to be genuinely obsessed with their beloved. Now it's just normal people who are insecure and think their overthinking is obsession. I miss the glory days of this community. People were so poetic, and their hatred and love for the person taking over their life and morality were so nuanced and wounding. Hearing the terrifying things people did in the name of love was so comforting. I miss the stalkers excitedly ranting about the pictures they got of their beloved's home. The extremities they committed in the name of love." That is not how extremities is used, I am 99.99% sure. "The painful suffering of the obsessor was so tender. I check in now and again, and each time I feel like I'm watching teens have their first relationship. It's not an obsession subreddit anymore. I feel like being yandere and crazy has been popularized by turning it into some aesthetic or cute dynamic, and now people are adapting that quality as some cool, quirky label." I don't know if I've ever wanted to smack someone so hard in my life. You have to use like 40 different grades of sandpaper to get your brain this smooth. This person says, "I agree with you. Obsession can be crippling. It isn't a cute aesthetic or fun roleplay or a special intimate interest. It's more than just love. It's all-consuming. It's jealousy, delusion, fear, paranoia, and pain. The highs and lows are so severe. It's almost impossible to be stable. It can ruin lives. It attracts abusers to us. It's rarely reciprocated, and it can lead to hurting oneself and sewer slide. I wish there was a space to speak freely about my obsession with people who feel the same. I never have anywhere to talk about stalking, collecting, isolation, or other immoral things. I was happy to find this subreddit at first, but it's not what I expected. It's hard to post here. I would like to find somewhere I feel accepted. Sorry for editing this so much. I'm autistic and have a hard time writing things like this." Alright, so I really need your guys' input on this because I'm about to say some stuff that is extremely unhinged. And if you've participated in a community that I'm about to mention, please chime in. Because for me, this reads very closely to like incel communities, pro-ED communities, and communities that encourage people that hurt themselves. With this sort of gatekeeping, it becomes this thing where, like, the more unhealthy you are with your behavior, like, the more legit you are, and the more street cred you have. Like, everybody's competing to be the most true version of an incel, or a pro-ED individual, or somebody that encourages people to hurt themselves. Like, it's not good. It is not a good path to go down, and I don't think anybody should be encouraging these communities to be more pure in that sense. Because, yeah, people are going to be incels regardless, and people are going to struggle with EDs regardless, and people are going to have self-hurting issues regardless, but if you create a community where it is encouraged or it is competitive in the sense of people are trying to earn their street cred for belonging in that community, I personally think it makes it worse and exacerbates the issue. Alright, here's another comment on this thread. This person, a yandere succubus, says, I agree with everything you said, except your statement of yandere being popular. I'm labeled a freak and treated worse in this new wave of society going woke. I used to contribute to this subreddit, but I deleted all my posts when some triggered posters started crying to the mods about me. This is no longer a real safe haven for obsession, and it does not help that non-obsessed people are coming here and calling us all toxic / screenshotting posts for the sake of mocking us. But yeah, I'm tired of the first relationship post too. I came here to interact with my fellow stalkers. This person is such a loser, dude. They're talking about society going woke and complaining about that, but then also crying about not having a safe space that they can talk about being a fucking stalker. Like, how much of a hypocrite can you possibly be? Chill Pill Person pops in saying, I guess I may have accidentally contributed to that more. I sort of forced myself to mellow out on things like thinking about punishing my darling with severe isolation or hurting him emotionally after someone on here told me I was a psycho and sick in the head. And then I never tried to post anything else more extreme. I know I like to post like I'm really mild, but I'm pretty sure my darling would tell you otherwise. Anyway, I have told him how I'd like to cut up and cook the women around him so I could feed them to him as a way of telling him he's mine and mine alone. That's a pretty normal thing to me. For the sake of rules, that's not actually what I want. This is exactly what I was talking about a couple of comments ago, where people will go out of their way to try and prove their street cred and let people know that they belong in this community, or they belong in some true version of this community with actual extreme obsessive lovers. Like, I know I'm getting kind of mean here, and I'm definitely not in the crowd of like, oh, we need to bring back bullying, because I think with those general statements, so many innocent people get caught in the crossfire. But there are certain things that we should shame in society, and this is absolutely one of them. Like, you do not just get a free pass to act like this and brag about this sort of behavior without people calling you cringe and telling you you're lame as fuck. Alright, let's switch it up to a better vibe, even though it's still pretty dark. This person says, leaving the community. I've finally realized how shitty and toxic this behavior is. It took me getting hospitalized and held in the ER for over a week and threatened with inpatient, but I got out of it. She's been notified by the police and could file a restraining order. I'm okay with that. It would be completely deserved. I'm going to burn all of her things. I hope that everyone in here stays happy and healthy. Best luck to all of you. I'm very happy for and proud of this person, not for whatever behaviors got them in the hospital and having a restraining order filed against them, but because they realize this activity is not good and that they need to get out of this community. Feel free to give your opinion, because I am just literally one guy, but I understand the desire for having a place where you can talk about this issue that you have with people that have similar feelings and have similar behaviors, but it does not seem to be in any sort of fucking constructive way at all in this subreddit. Everything bad is encouraged, even if it's gotten like lesser than the heyday of the good obsessive love community back in 2020. It's still a place where people gas themselves up and each other up about this sort of behavior, and it cannot lead anywhere good. Run the fuck away from this community. Get out. Stop talking about this shit unless it's with your fucking therapist, bro. On top, I've got a video about this crazy delusional incel stalker who called the cops on himself because he thought he was in the right. It's an insane video, but if you want a palate cleanser, I've also got a video on male living spaces that are just absolutely delightful and make me so happy. That'll be on the bottom. Channel members on the left. Hope everybody's doing super well and skating on to the best of your abilities, drinking a sufficient amount of water. Sorry if I was super mean in this video, but I'm very passionate about this subject, and I honestly do not feel like these people deserve to be handled with kid gloves. Hope everybody's doing well. Do good.